live streams. Let's just raise this camera up a little bit so you get a better view. And today we're doing a little bit more of the same, a little bit different. Let me get my sun blocker as the sun is back out today. We had a couple rainy days here in New York City. Well, one rainy day. Rained quite a bit. And I need to pull up the stream comments. Bear with me for 1 second. All right, and today we're going to be doing a little bit more of the same. So I have a color mixed up here. This is the color I mixed up. It's a very transparent cobalt blue with a little bit of red in it. And I mixed up a couple other colors. These are the colors I'm going to be working with today. I have them on my palette here. We're doing an evening scene with a moon. It's behind the tree limbs here on this print. So as you can see here, we're working on this print again. This moon area is covered right here, right behind these limbs of this pine tree. But I have to leave the shape of the tree. So I had to transfer the tree shape to this block because I want that base tone to be underneath the tree, or else it would look kind of strange. It would have a different color to it. So let's go ahead and start. It's a very transparent blue. This is just a base tone. There will be a gradation over top of this after it dries. So we have to build up these tones a little bit on this one for the effect that I'm going for. So there's a lot of transparency in here, and it tends to show the roller marks. So I really want to make sure I roll this out smoothly and in all directions so it's nice and even. And at the end here, I just kind of do a nice across the whole surface. Make sure I clean my Kento marks. And we're using the Kitakata paper again, which is the beige natural toned paper. I think this will be a perfect color for that moon to be poking through here. So I got to be really careful when I lay this down in the registration because it's so thin and it's slightly curved because of the way I was storing it. So it's probably best to store this paper flat if I'm using it for this application. So I'm really going to be careful getting it into this corner Kento. I'm holding that down with my thumb, pulling the paper taut across, holding that down with my thumb, and I'm just folding it down onto this part of the block here. And once it's down, that ink is holding it in place now. So we should be good. Using my traditional Japanese baron, a Hon baron, H-O-N. This was handmade in Japan. Again, this is just the base tone for the sky. Let's see what it looks like. And there we have the base tone for the sky with the shapes of the trees over top. I wanted the moon to be obstructed by the trees to make it look a little more natural. And it made sense to place it here in the composition. It just felt natural to have it here. It kind of looked weird over here. It was a little too felt out of place. At least this curved line and the way that this pine tree comes up, it kind of just leads your eye to this space here. So this is where I put it, right there. So we'll see how that goes. I have a finished print from another color scheme that we finished yesterday. on the live stream, which was this version. So I'm doing a couple different versions of the same print, but I did cut the hole for the moon in the block now. If I wanted to get the same sky, just a simple flat sky, I could just transfer this shape to another block and recarve it. But now I have a moon shape, so we have a little bit of variety. So we're just going to keep printing these for now until they're finished. I think I have about 9 sheets here. And then we'll be switching to this block, which is the ground plane, which I'll be doing a base tone for that, which is going to be transparent as well. And I was looking at some Hasui prints, some evening scenes that he's very good at depicting evening with the moon, reflections in the water, snow scenes. I was looking at a couple of them online last night. I pulled one up here today that we can have a look at real quick. After we take this impression, we'll pull it up. Just make sure that Kento's clean. You can be real careful with the registration in the beginning stages here. This paper is very delicate. It wants to fold. Once we get a couple layers of ink on it, it flattens out. So today's Halloween. You can see the ink through the paper slightly. It's a nice transparent base tone. I have a few more sheets here to go through. Let's pull up a Hasui image just so we can look. This is a simple scene I found on the Art Institute of Chicago. And you can see he's got this blue sky. He has a color, so you can see the page of the color of his sheet is similar to what I'm using now. But he did put a color in the moon, like an orange gradation. I will not be doing that. But I liked how he did this gradation down towards the horizons, more purple. I think I'll be doing it opposite, where it'll be getting lighter at the horizon and darker at the top. But I also like these tones and how he handled these greens in the grass. So I was looking at this one just for the color scheme and how he's handling the greens, these gray distant mountains, and then these greens in the field. And in the very foreground here, he totally makes up this color scheme because this is so bright. I mean, look at the light on the horse. It's almost like there's a secondary light source, there's like a tractor hitting this farmer and the horse with the high beams. This would never happen in nature or in this situation with the moon being the only light source. You would never get this. This would all be in shadow. So he's just totally inventing the scene and using his own compositional solutions to, create the viewer or lead the eye through the composition for the viewer. He has a little bit of the reflection down here of the moon in this little creek. I thought that was a nice little print to kind of look at for reference. And same thing here. This base tone of this tree is covering the moon, but he left that shape there because if you didn't have that base tone there, it would look differently. So I did the same thing here with mine. I have the tree shape there. All right, let's get back to printing here. So pull up my stream again. Boom. Come on. There we go. All right. So as soon as I put up my sun blocker, it got dark again. For all of you that follow along, you're probably sick of seeing this project because this is the third color scheme I've been printing. You're probably interested in seeing something different, but this is a little different. I think this will be a fun one to print. Looking good. I need to take down my cardboard here because it's too dark in here for me. The camera picks up the light well, but it's dark in the room for me. What's up, Marius? I don't think you were on yesterday, Marius. Were you around? It's a nice transparent base tone for the sky. Oh, trying to change it up. So I've been streaming live every day, almost every day for the last couple weeks, preparing for this exhibition. So I need to have this print finished. The frames, I have 2 more frames of the same size coming tomorrow, and I need to have this print finished and dried and framed by Monday. So it's going to be a hard thing to do, but I think I can get it done. Just have to work hard the next couple days. So I did put some cobalt dryer in these inks because I need this to dry rapidly. So I have to kind of work quick here. So let's see here, we have about 5 or 6 more sheets. And then we're going to do the base tone for this ground plane, which will be similar color, but a little bit more green mixed in, I think. See, when you print with this transparency, it really looks like Mocha. You can see the texture of the wood grain in there. Really like using the ink in this transparent way. Sun's coming back out now. Must be a cloudy day. Haven't been outside yet today. Haven't really looked out the window. Let's see what's going on out there. Oh yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day with some light clouds in the sky. Be heading out to do a little bit of trick-or-treating this afternoon. Yeah, the sun and the clouds are kind of messing with my light today. It's going in and out. Marius. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm teaching right now. I'm teaching you, Marius. Yeah, I would love to teach. It's kind of... I need to pursue different ways I can teach. I don't know if I should start like online classes or I don't know. I just don't know how to really get started. So I'm just doing this YouTube thing for now. And hopefully that opens up some opportunities in the future. But like I said before, this is just practice for when I actually do teach a workshop, or I think in-person workshops would be fun. Maybe like a 2-3 day workshop, or maybe if I find a venue, like a local, like a church hall, or like a community space, and I do like every once, for a couple hours, maybe 2 or 3 weekends in a row. It'd be a nice place to start doing some in-person group. workshops. But yeah, I have to really figure something out because currently I'm unemployed. I'm just a printmaker, but printmaking isn't enough. It was great to have this time and opportunity to make all this work for this exhibition coming up, but the getting behind on my bills, so I need to start doing something else. The savings account only lasts so long. My personal savings account. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 more, and then we'll go to the ground plane. But thank you for your comment, Marius. I appreciate that. I'm learning a lot from my audience too. I get a lot of comments on YouTube and questions, and getting a better understanding of what people are interested in, and a lot of common questions. So I'm just kind of documenting all those, and I'll be able to apply them when I do get into a workshop or teaching lessons or whatever. I'm on a good path. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like my path is my path is interesting. I'm enjoying the path that I'm on. It's the less traveled. I feel like I'm bushwhacking through the woods. Kind of making my own path. Or maybe breaking trail. I'm breaking trail in a wooded snow area. You know, if you're the first one on a trail in the snow, you have to break through all the snow to find the trail again. I feel like that's kind of what I'm doing right now. It's always more difficult to break trail than it is to follow. A little bit more ink on this next one. It's a little too light, a little too transparent. Yeah, Marius, Morning, Pam. Marius, were you able to see the live stream yesterday, or were you, because we finished the other color scheme of the other print. Come on. Yeah, so we finished this this print yesterday on the live stream. So we printed the, what did we print yesterday? Oh, the green of this green up here of these trees and the green that's down here. There's slightly different greens. And then we printed the key block, which was like a dark gray. We didn't do quite black. It was a little too light at first, and then we had to print it again, mix the color again. But I like how this one turned out. Calling this one like summer haze. It's kind of like this hazy feel to it, like when the Canadian wildfires are sending down smoke signals. This will be the evening scene, the moon. Yeah, greens, I was talking about the greens before. Greens are a really difficult color for me, but I think a lot of people to manage, because they can become so, it's the largest spectrum of color. The greens, you can mix more greens than any other color. But greens are a very difficult color to work with sometimes, I think. There's so many varieties and so many variations. I try not to use too much cadmium yellow, because I feel like as soon as I bring cadmium yellow into the mixture of a green, it just gets too synthetic looking. So I really try to use just yellow ochre. And then if I do use a cadmium or a bright yellow, like a primary yellow, I just use it very sparingly. Let's see, this is our last one. And then we'll move to the next color block. All right. So what do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I got 12 in this little batch. So this is a small batch of. Thanks, Marius. Appreciate that. So this is a small batch of prints. So I need to just clean off this block a little. And then we'll figure out our next color. Yeah, I think that second color scheme is more successful than the first one, mostly because I went into it with a reference, and I had a little bit of a plan. I was looking at something as a reference. The other one, I just kind of was winging it, and just kind of, I wasn't really thinking about my end goal. So that was my mistake. I like the first one; it's okay, but it's just not. It's not a very harmonious color scheme. It's a little bit too blue, too green, too orange, like primaries and secondary colors. I like a little bit more of a color scheme going on. So this is going to be cools, variations of blues, greens, and purples, but all with a blue, very blue base for the moon. So we are moving on to this block here. Is this the right one? Yes. Yeah, this one's next. So just clean off my roller a little bit. And I'm going to mix similar color, but a little darker. So let's just clean this up. I'm going to use the same color. I'm going to add a little bit of this green blue into it. Just a little bit of this more purple color, just to change it up a little bit. Just want this to be slightly darker. So take this. This was the color I just printed, and so it's just slightly different. I think that'll work. I want it a little darker, maybe. Yeah, that's probably better. All right. I think we'll try that see how that works first. If it's too dark, I can add more transparency to it. You can see how this transparent ink goes on. It goes on a little differently than if it was a fully loaded pigment. So we're really working with like a glaze. If you were to compare this to oil painting, we're doing thin layer of paint here, so it's like a glaze. Where it's a darker color going over a lighter color. The lighter color being the yellow color of the paper, the natural color of the paper. And this is a darker, transparent color going over top. so that color of the paper will shine through and kind of unify the whole print, especially at the beginning layers here, beginning stages of this print. So I gotta be careful not to get my fingers in the ink on the margin. Again, we gotta be careful. This paper is very floppy, and it's, whoops, we don't want to get it in our ink. I have to move that ink over, I think. And just move this a little. Excuse me. Let's see how this looks. So every color What's up, Pam? I said good morning. It's now almost afternoon. Ooh, that's a nice base tone. The problem is it's the same color, same value as the sky. Now the sky, at this part of the print, the sky is going to get a little darker because I'm going to put a gradation over this, so the sky is going to be darker. And if I want this, do I want the ground plane to be lighter than the sky? Or do I want the sky to be lighter than the ground plane? This is where I have to make a decision. Pam's asking if I carved the moon shape. No, I just carved it in the existing block because I didn't feel like transferring this and carving a whole new block. So if I do want this sky shape back without the moon, I'll just transfer it over and carve a new shape and carve these limbs out of it exactly. I can just transfer and I'll just leave this hole. So no, I just transferred over. I figured out, I just cut a little piece of paper. Actually, this is how I did it. Actually ruined this print. I pulled this out, cut a little piece of circle, and then I got a dab of ink, and then I tried to clean it off, and now this print's ruined, but that's alright. So I just used it as I figured out where I wanted the moon to go. I also pulled the image up on, like, I have this image up on Photoshop, and I kind of placed it here. It looks kind of silly right now, but I think it was a good position for it. And then what I did is I poked a hole through the center of it, and that came through the back of the paper. And then I just did that with like a tack, a little push pin. And then I put this down into my registration, like so. And then from that hole, I pushed the pin through again. Now I have a hole in my wood surface, and that's the center of the moon. And then from that hole, I then took my, let's find it, my trusty compass. Took my trusty compass that has a piece of graphite at the end. I put that in that hole, made the shape of the moon right on the block pencil. But then I wanted these tree limbs, so I had to take, let's see, I took the tree limb block, which is this block. Let's find, do I have that? I don't think I have it. Or did I throw it out? Let's see, I don't have that anymore. Where'd that piece go? I'm not sure. Anyways, I inked up this area of the trees on a piece of paper. Took that paper off, put that paper down, just rubbed the back with the baren, and it left the ink residue. You know, it was just an ink transfer. And then I carved the shapes out that I needed. So that's how I did that process. Now back to this problem, or this decision that we have to make. Do I want the ground plane to be darker than the sky or lighter than the sky? Because if we look here, this blue, or this base tone, will be showing through that section there that's gray. And if it's really light, if it's lighter than the sky, it's going to look like water or like a river or like a reflection. So I'm thinking this base tone needs to be darker. That's what I'm thinking right now. So this color has to be darker. And the other thing we could do, I mean, it could be the same value, I guess, because there is these dark lines that separate it, these black lines. So right now that gray and that yellow, yeah, I think it has to be a little darker. We can also look at our reference, which is a Hasui print. See what he's doing here. See, he has a light, he's kind of has this light base tone here, but it's guarded or cropped in by this dark mass of trees and these houses. So there's a line there. But he's also inventing this, we can pull up another image. Let's see if we can get another image by Hasui here real quick, because he's such a great person to reference for this. Let's see if I can find one. Yeah, this is a good one here. I don't like pulling up these sites that are like these print sites where you buy these art prints. I like pulling it up from an actual site. I keep getting the same print. Sorry for the delay here. I should have had this stuff ready. Trying to get one that doesn't have water in it, because the water does reflect the sky. I'm going to pull this one up just for reference. So this is kind of the similar idea where this is the kind of the similar sky that I'm going for. This kind of green, blue-green, and then the next impression will be this transition into like a purple. And I have that purple color mixed here. So it'll be like this purple color will be the next one. But if this is a distant mountain, look how much darker that is. So I think we have to make this darker. And maybe even cooler. We can kind of make it more purple color. We're just pulling this next to the print right now. This is a little too green for me. So maybe add a little bit more purple to it too. So let's try that. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to pull this ink back into a pile. Let's set this aside for now. And I'm going to pull some of this purple ink here, right into the mixture. Get a little bit more. Smooth this out a bit. Yeah, I need to take these live streams and edit them down into regular videos, because there's a lot of valuable things that are going on in these live streams, but people don't want to sit through, you know, an hour and a half of video just to pull out the little tidbits that they could actually use. So I think it's important to go through these videos and just pull out the highlights. And, you know, I can even do a voiceover, like a new voiceover. And that might just be a really good way to reuse or repurpose these live streams, because I am filming these, I'm doing the work. You guys are participating as well, and if I could just turn those into a video, I think more people. Let's test this color first on a little scrap sheet. So that's going to definitely be darker, and it's more cool. That's looking good. I like that. It's less green, more purple. This is going to be a nice color. You know, I really enjoy cool colors. I feel more connected to blues and greens than I do yellows and oranges and reds. It's just my personality, I think. Like, my favorite colors, probably blue, but green is green and blue are, you know, they're brothers or they're cousins. So you can't get a green without blue. So blue's my favorite color, and I really enjoy these cool colors. And that's probably why I'm attracted to Hasui, because his prints are primarily cool. Alright, so now I'm excited to print this color. I'm going to do it on a new sheet so we can see what it looks like. I have to plug in my iPad, it's low. You're an hour behind, Pam? Where are you? You're not home? Yeah, so the tech you're referring to, hold on, let me get this down and print it real quick. Yeah, those shorts were, that short AI technology, whatever. It's doing it for my videos when I stream them. But I don't know if it's official yet. I don't know. It's just, it takes out like a 160-second clip from every video. So it just takes like out a 60-second clip that they think is like an important part of the video. So it could have been me just talking about the color there, or talking about Hasui or whatever, and that's all it's doing. I thought it was going to take clips, you know, separate clips from the whole video and piece them together, but they're not doing that. It's just one clip. So I don't know if that technology is going to change over time. It probably will, but right now it's not doing anything for me. I'm going to have to do it myself. So I think maybe I'll start with this series of prints where I kind of start clipping some highlights out. And I don't think I'll make a short though. I think I'll make a full-length video, 5 to 10 minutes long. I don't know what the video quality will be like, so if I download, but I don't really care about the video quality because this isn't like amazing. You don't really need a high quality video for what we're doing here. Alright, so let's see what this color looks like. This is exciting, everybody. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. I'm liking these blues. Very nice. So when I do this gradation, I'll pretty much have no pigment at the horizon here. And slowly I'll get more and more pigment towards the top. So when I mix this pile for my roller, it'll just be clear, transparent base. And then as I go up, it's going to be more pigment. But there will be a gradation now on top of this from here going up. So that's looking a lot better. It's already starting to look like evening. So what do we do with this one? Well, we could put a real thin layer, just a thin layer of, I'm not going to dip the roller into this ink here. I'm just going to use what's on it. I'll just try to get it to the value of the other. So this will now be my test sheet. I should have a test sheet in here, but I like using the actual paper because the paper has a specific color and feel to it. So I have a batch of 12, so if I get 10 out of the 12 or even 8 out of the 12, I'm happy with that. And if I like this color scheme or I want to print more, I just do it again and I just change it a little bit. Just have another addition. Alright, so we're going to put this one back down. This paper is really difficult. So the color is going to be a little different here because it's two colors on top of each other and we changed the color. So we're just trying to get this to the value, the correct value. So let's see how we did. Yeah, really close. Really close. I'd say very close. So sometimes I get lost on which one is the, I always try to keep the same one. So what I do is I just flip this over and I put a tiny dot in the registration corner right here. Just a very small dot. Now I know that's the first sheet. So if this gets lost in the stack, I know that this one is the first sheet that's got to go down. It's my test sheet. That's how I mark it. Cool. So now we're good to go on this color. What time is it? 12:16. I don't think I've shipped any prints to South Africa yet. Maybe one. I've shipped prints all over. I've sent one to Australia once. You know, European countries, Canada, mostly United States. Sent a couple to Japan. I don't get too many online sales these days. My online catalog is kind of quieted down. But I will be adding some new prints to it soon. After this exhibition, I'm going to put everything up on my website. And I'll be posting the exhibition as its own little category on my website after the exhibition is down. So probably December 1st, I'll be uploading all that. So you can see all the paintings and all the prints that were in the exhibition. And whatever's left will be for sale on my website for pretty much the same price as I have it in the show. But you know, they're taking about 30% commission, I think. So it's all kind of a lot. Maybe 30 or 40, I don't even know. I don't know. I don't think they should be taking a commission, to be honest with you. I think if they did, they should be a very small percentage. This is a huge, like, non-for-profit organization that, like, they have means to make money to keep everything running smoothly. I don't think they need a couple $100s from an artist who's just trying to cover the cost of an exhibition. That's the only downside to this exhibition, is it's costing quite a bit of money. I'm definitely in the hole from it already, but that's just what you have to do, I guess, to get your work out there. I'm just considering it like a business expense. So I bought frames, I bought wood and made frames. My father helped me cut some molding, and then we're gonna have some hors d'oeuvres and drinks at the exhibition. And then we're throwing a little after party. Well, it's not a little after party, it's quite a large after party. And we're buying food for that. So that's going to be, I think we're expecting about 50 people at the after party. It's a little light. I'm going to make it, just print it a little darker next one. Yeah, 30% is kind of, in New York City, 50%, they'll take 50% if you're in a Chelsea gallery or something, so you have to price accordingly. But this little venue is, it's at the nature preserve. It's like where people are going to hike and rock climb and spend time with their family. They're not really willing to, it's not like people are going there to buy artwork. They're going there to enjoy, and they already have to buy a day pass to get in. So it's $20 just to get in on the preserve's land. So you're bringing a family, you're already dropping $100 just to go hike around on the trails. So you're not going to want to spend $300 on a framed print. So it's just not the ideal way to make money as an artist, but it's important to have a show, and I'm glad I'm having this show, don't get me wrong. I'm really excited about it. It's been a great opportunity, and I'm grateful for it. But I'm just being critical. So I'll have the framed print, so you can buy the framed print. But then I'll have an option just to buy the print by itself. So that'll be a lower price range, and hopefully I'm hoping people are going to buy the prints. So I have to work out how that's going to happen still with them. I guess I'll figure that out on Monday. Oh, cool. You're somewhere else, Pam. Central Time. That's nice. You're still checking in with us, even though you're visiting family. What are the dimensions of this current print? The sheet of paper to the edge is 6 inches by 14 inches. I'm going to get that in my pink print there. So 6 by 14 is the outside of the paper. The image is 5 by 13-ish, I think. It's kind of a random size. It's not like a standard size, I don't think. I'm limited to my printer, because I use my printer. So I can only do like 11 by 17. I can print 11 by 17 on my printer. Yeah, I love the blue on this colored paper. It's really nice. Excuse me. Let me just shift some of these down. Getting confused here. All right. Let's catch up here. What's going on? So I have to plug this in. Bear with me for 1 second. My iPad's dying. Am I frozen here? No, I'm not frozen. My iPad's gonna die though. There we go. Daniel Watkins. That seems like a new person. Yeah, I wouldn't want to ship something framed over to South Africa. You just get it framed over there for yourself. I'm actually using these cool, I want to show you, I'm using these cool little framing tools. They're little clamps. And they're springs. So this is the wood my dad made for me. It's white oak. And then we just glued in some poplar. And it's I think 3/8 of an inch. But man, these clamps are just springs, and they bite into the wood a little, but you just take them out and they just hold the corner of the molding together, and they're very strong. And this is such a cool little thing. I accidentally pinched my finger in there this morning, and man, that did not feel good. But man, these frames are so cool, or these little clamps. They leave a tiny hole, but if you just put a little wood filler in there and you just sand it, you can't see it. So these are nice little... Oh, you're in Arizona. Cool. I've hiked out there before. I've been out to Arizona, Mount Lemon area. Where else have I hiked out there? I'm not sure. Cochise Stronghold I've been to. Where else have I been in Arizona? I think that's the only two places I've been. But I flew into Phoenix and then stayed down in Tucson. Tucson was a really nice area. I enjoyed that area. A lot of retired people in Tucson. You have a nice like snowbird. Maybe a lot of people from the West Coast, they go down there during the winter because it's so warm. So people on the East Coast, they go to Florida. People on the West Coast go to Tucson, Arizona, I guess. If I had the choice, I'd go to Tucson, Arizona, I think. Just because there's rock climbing there. There's mountains. Mount Lemons has a huge mountain range. And that Cochise Strong hold is just an amazing place. I'd like to go there, do some climbing. So I have a million things I could be doing to prepare for this exhibition that I'm hanging in 3 days, but I'm still making artwork, still making prints for the exhibition. But I think this will be a nice little addition to the show, so it's worth dedicating the time to it. The next color will be this base tone for the rock formation. So we have to figure out what we want to do there. I think I'm going to do what Hasui has done and invent this secondary light source that's making this rock kind of glow. Maybe some reflective light. There's another rock cliff and the moon is hitting the rock cliff and reflecting onto it here. So this is going to be lighter than this foreground color. So we have to figure out what kind of color we want to make that. Pam says that's crazy, going to Arizona instead of Florida. You know, I like Florida for the beaches. If I were to be in Florida, I would have to be near New Smyrna because there's surfing there, which is just south of Daytona. I know they have a big retired community there, but that's probably the only place I would go because there's waves, consistent waves, and I would be surfing as much as I possibly could. And they actually have really good surfing in New Smyrna. And you can drive your vehicle out onto that beach, and the waves break really well there. So that's where I would be if I had to choose Florida. But I prefer rock climbing. I could do one of the other. If I had to choose, if I could have beautiful, clean waves every day, or if I could have mountains and hiking and rock climbing and cycling. And see, that's the other thing. Arizona has really good cycling there. There's mountain biking, there's cycling, and you could travel. You can go into California. The West is the best. There's just so much to do out there. It's so beautiful out there. Every time I go out west, I'm just like, why am I in New York City? There's just so much out there. Lots of rocks, lots of mountain biking. But you know, having a nice beautiful beach break, like a nice point break, or like somewhere beautiful, that would be nice too. But I feel like that's harder to come by, especially nowadays. I'll try this ball bearing bearing. See how that performs. I didn't get a nice impression there actually. Put this down again. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it wasn't picking up the ink in the middle of the block. So that's telling me this wood is probably cupped a little. So this bearing is softer and it gets into those. Oh, are you saying your time zone in Florida is different than ours? In New York City? Is that what you're saying, Pam? Wow, I never knew that. Interesting. I guess that's how far west Florida's panhandle goes. I thought you like traveled somewhere and was visiting friends or family or something. Yeah, I never knew that. I mean, you have to go pretty far west to get into the next time zone on the East Coast. You have to go to like, what, Illinois? Or like middle of Ohio or something. We got a truck outside. We got the milk truck. And there's cars blocking, so he can't get through. So he's gonna lay on his horn, I think. I gotta put this down again. I didn't get the edge here. You can see it's not clean. There we go. That's way better. So this is a long stream, but it's okay. This is what I'm doing right now. Next color, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go. And I'll be starting the next color. Let's just see how long these live streams can run for. You know, I thought if I did these live streams, you know, daily for, I mean, I'm on my 38th live stream, or this is the 39th live stream. I thought YouTube would kind of push my channel a little more. And I think I've been seeing like more followers recently, subscribers. You know, maybe get like 5 to 8 followers or subscribers a day. So I feel like that number has kind of picked up. But I don't know, YouTube kind of does something weird with the live streams, because I'll get people watching the replays for the first 24 hours or 48 hours, and it'll say 100 people have watched your video or something. And then after like a 48-hour window, it kind of resets the clock, and it's like, oh, 20 people watched your video. So I don't know what happened to all those viewers, but so I don't think I'm getting monetized fairly. It's not really keeping it honest. After it uploads the live stream, there's like a time frame where it resets, starts back at 0. So all the 100 people that watch it immediately or within the first 24 hours, like it's not adding up. So if anyone knows anything about that, I don't know, maybe I should wait and post it or turn it live, the replay, make it public after a couple days. After it goes through that upload cycle. I love that people are actually watching this. I really appreciate that. It might be a small group of people, but I'd rather have a small group of people that are really interested in what I'm doing than a large group of people who are just, you know, causing trouble, being trolls and saying stupid things. But yeah, like 6 years ago, if I found a live stream that was doing this, I probably would be watching too, because I'd be wanting to learn how to do all this. My friend sent me the name of a new artist. I mean, I've seen their work in the past, but she sent me a link to his work on like Instagram or something this morning, and I pulled up his image. He's a Japanese woodblock artist. He's still alive. I gotta look at his name, and man, his prints are amazing. He's like my new favorite artist. I have to go find his name. There's not much information about him online. He's lived a very quiet life, just making his artwork. Maybe he's well known in Japan, I'm not sure, but there's no like videos on him. There's not much information on him at all. Actually want to ask Dave Bull about him. I need to watch a Dave Bull live stream so I can ask some questions about that artist. Getting some northern lights in my print here. There's some lights coming down from 3i Atlas. It's entering into our atmosphere, beaming up people. Oh, Pam would pick any place out west than going to Florida. All right, good, Pam. I'm glad we're on the same page. Phew. I thought you were like a die-hard Florida person. Let's find the name of this artist. Morozumi Osamu. Morozumi Osamu. We gotta search him. Here's his name. Morozumi Osamu. His prints are so cool. They're very similar to what I want my prints to look like, but he's just doing it so much better. Let's just do a quick search. Morozumi Osamu. Ukiyo-e.org. This is a really good website for looking at Japanese woodblock prints. Ukiyo-e.org. And I was looking at these prints here today. Look at this. It's not it's not reading well. There we go. Search this guy up and look at his prints. Very similar to what I want to be doing, but he's already doing it so much better. I will be looking at his prints every day for inspiration. This one's really cool. I love this tree. They're just really basic shapes. You can tell he's just being really rough with his shapes. But the way he is overlapping, he's got a yellow, a red, a gray, and then a black, all in that little cross section of this tree. Yellow, red, gray, black, and he's even got some blue in here to make it like a green. Some blue here. And he's got some greens. And if you look at the simplification, from a distance it reads so beautifully. And then we zoom in here in this rock structure. He's got a base tone, just a light gray, like a warm, a gray, a green. It's a shadow, dark shadow mass. It's that green again. Then he's got red. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 values in this mountain range for these rocks. Super simple, but it's very effective. And the way he has this green shapes coming through here. And even here, I think that's the same block. It's the same green block back there, it's just over the gray. So I love breaking down these prints and trying to figure out how they achieved this. And he's got this blue in here. It's the same blue that's in the clouds here. Man, I can look at these things all day. Waste a lot of time. It's not wasted time, but I can spend a lot of time just looking at artworks like this. This one's really amazing too. Talking about greens and how you control greens. Look at this warm green, yellow earth tones right next to this cool mountain range. And he uses like the texture of his tool. You know, he's just scraping out this texture with a gouge, and then he's leaving it. So it's not very traditional, but he's doing his own thing. And I like how he sometimes his colors will come off the composition sometime in some of his prints, like on purpose. He he'll come outside of the composition. Let's find an example like this one. He's got these hikers or mountain climbers, and this guy's coming right off the composition. And that's in the clouds as well. Just coming right off the page. This is beautiful. These colors in this mountain are beautiful. When you break them down into simple shapes and colors, it's just an orange, a blue, a gray, a red. But when the way he's overlaying them and getting these optical grays, it's just beautiful. It's almost photorealistic from a distance. So search this guy up. Go to ukiyo-e.org, and there's his name, Morozumi Osama. I need to ask Dave Bull about his prints. I don't think Dave Bull he's not into this style of printing, I don't think. For one reason is because he does limited editions. He's not in have to buy. Do I think his prints are reduction? I'd have to look at them more. I don't think it's 100% reduction. I think there's some reduction potentially, but it might just all be separate blocks, because I could see where there's overlays and overlaps of colors where he'll have an orange that goes over the, say this is the orange shape. He has an orange that goes over a blue and a green, and then over the white of the paper. So it's forming, and you wouldn't be able to get that if it was 100%. So he might have multiple blocks that he's reducing, but I'd have to research it more and really look at them. But I think he's doing a combination of reduction and kind of like what I'm doing here, where I'm, he might be reducing one block a couple times, reducing this block a couple times, and then they're overlapping. Probably a combination of everything. But yeah, Matt, if you're someone that can inspire your work, Matt, for sure, more than me. So when's Dave Bull's next live stream? Because I definitely want to ask him about that. For all I know, he might actually have some of his prints. Probably not, but he might have some of his prints in his collection. Who knows? He's got a huge collection of woodblock prints. I think he's got one tonight. Well, tonight I'm not available. I'm going to be trick-or-treating with my kid. Getting all sugared up. So it'll have to be the next one, I guess. But I have to put that on my radar for... I have to set a reminder on my phone for that. All right, we have one more to do for this color. So we're moving along. My goal today is to get all these base colors done by the end of the day so they dry. And then tomorrow, gradation in the sky, gradation on the ground plane, gray, the shadow mass and the rock feature. That would be tomorrow. Sunday would be trees, key block. And then pray that it's dry by Monday or Sunday night. I may just have to frame one with it still wet. A little tacky, but that's alright. There'll be glass over it. I don't think that'll be a problem. Alright, last one. My question is, what color are we going to make these rocks? This rock cliff. Yeah, I'm wiping with my t-shirt because I'm lazy. No, this is my printmaking, my new printmaking t-shirt. I just wear it every time, and if I get ink on it, this was just been wearing this shirt probably for about 5 days in a row while I'm working, and it's just a t-shirt I got at I caught it at a soccer game, and it's just some crappy t-shirt, and I just wear it when I work, and if I get paint on it, I get paint on it, and I'll wash it every like week or two. So it's my new printmaking shirt. But yeah, cotton is the best. Cotton t-shirts are the best rags. So now we have to clean this block off. With a paper towel. Not my t-shirt. Because the oil is dried on the surface, it just kind of seals the wood, preserves it. So now I have a nice surface that I could just keep cleaning the ink off. I could just keep reusing these blocks. So now we are on to this block here, but oops, goes this way. What color? Are we still rolling here? Yes, we are. We have 10 people. We're at 100 minutes. It's the longest live stream ever in the history of printmaking, on my channel at least. So what color are we going to make this rock feature? So I would have liked to have printed this gray a little bit darker on this one, but it works. But I wanna leave it light like this for this one. So I want to kind of invent the space like Hasui did, and we'll leave this lighter. But I have the opportunity to make it not so blue or green, but maybe to have another color. Let's move my roller so I don't get ink. So what color should I make that rock surface? It could be more purple, it could be more warm. I'm not exactly sure. Let's start with just a gray. Let's start with just a gray, and then we'll go from there. You'll have to excuse me for 1 second, I gotta grab something. So here's our gray. We have a gray from yesterday we did with our key block. Save this color for sure. Let's clean up. And take some of this gray here from yesterday. That's a lot. I don't need that much. I'm going to take some of this purple. I think a purple, a little bit more purple in it would be nice. And take some of that blue that we just had. But add some of that purple. I'm going to add a little white to give it a little body. Sorry. Give it a little white, I think. Not much. And then we'll add transparency as well. So this will be like an opaque, transparent color. Something like that might be nice. You see that? So I'm going to put some, I'll put it here. Right next to the blue that I'm using. It's a little too blue. I think we need a little more white. I'm gonna add a little red to it. Anyone? Sunday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 p.m. Cool, thank you, Pam. Anyone, any color theorists out there? Have any comments on this cool gray? It's like a purple gray. This is going to get much darker. It's going to have a gradation on the ground, and then it's going to have the trees and the key block. So this is going to be very dark. So you can see how dark this one has gotten. So I want this to be, it's going to be the base tone for this rock feature. So it needs to be like a mid value, so maybe even darker. It's a little bit warmer than the sky, which I like. The sky's going to be getting darker as well. Kind of I'm kind of into this color right here. I might just add a little bit more of this black to it, make it a little darker. It's like purple. And I might add a little transparency to it. There's already some transparency in there, but this is about a mid-tone. So about a level 4 or 5. I don't know how they rate the gradation scale. Is 10 black or is 0 black? So something like a little bit darker. Let me go get my, I have a little color wheel. Yeah, so value 1 is black, 100% black. Value 10 is 100% white. I have this little color wheel. These things are amazing. I've been using this a lot recently just to think about color schemes and triads when I'm painting. But on this side they have the grayscale. So this is a 10, or 1 is black, 10 is white, and it just goes this way. So if we put this down and then we put this, and I squint down, it's probably right in the middle. It's probably a value 5 or 6. And I think that's good because we want to kind of stay, we want to stay in the up, since this is a night scene, we kind of want all of our, yeah, medium gray for the rock area. So this is medium. We want to stay from probably level 6 to black because this is a nighttime scene. So everything's kind of, this is like a 7, this sky. This is like a 6. So if you take a picture with your camera and you turn it to black and white, you can get a really good reading of your values. So really paying attention to this now, because I'm realizing later on, like I should have done that with this rock. I would have liked this to be 1 shade darker. It's very light. It's probably like a level, the base tone, it's very light. So it's probably like it's like a 9. And I would have liked it to be an 8. So it's probably right there at 9, which is this one. Would have liked it to be at an 8, just 1 shade darker, but that's okay. Just to show like a little bit of difference from the white of the paper to the rock. So I'm really trying to pay attention to these things. Now that we've done this print, this is our 3rd time, we can really figure out what we want for this next one. So that's one benefit of doing multiple images of the same project, using the block set multiple times. Because you can really hone in and get exactly what you want. I'm thinking this color is going to be nice. So let's roll that out. I'm going to add a little transparency to it though. Just a little bit. And this has white into it, so it'll be like a almost more of a scumble than a glaze. But it's still a darker value over, but it has white in it, so it's, I think it would be more considered a scumble than a glaze. So we'll get our little transparency tin. This thing's getting messy. I'm just going to pull about that much out. Pretty much using it every day now, so I'll probably go through it pretty quick. I want to add a little bit of dryer to this because I've mixed so many new colors in. So Gotta be careful with this stuff. I'm gonna move my print so I don't ruin it. So this is how I do this. This stuff is called cobalt dryer. It's pretty nasty, stinky stuff. I put it on a paper towel. I open it up. I have a specific tool. It's this long handled screwdriver. I just dip the tip in. Put the lid back on. I do all of this on a little piece of paper towel. Being sure not to touch any of it. And I discarded this towel. And I washed my hands. And then I dry my hands on my t-shirt. My printmaking t-shirt. Alright, so we are doing this here. We still have some ink left on our roller, so we just clean that off. It's on some scrap paper. I have to mix in this dryer. My wife is calling me. So I might have to end the stream soon. She'll probably call back like 10 times in a row. She should know that I'm streaming live. If she wants to talk to me, she can leave a comment. She's probably here in the driveway with groceries. I don't see her down there. Well, she pulls in with the groceries. I'm gonna have to go because I have to help carry them up the stairs. I know she was gonna go grocery shopping. So I might just print one of these and then I'll end this stream. Here we go. Yeah, she's here. Let me just go see if she needs me. Hold on 1 second, please. Take off my microphone. Okay, I'm back. So she did go grocery shopping, but I just carried up 2 bags for her, so she has the other 2. And she said I can go stream. I have a very supportive wife who supports all of this that I'm doing. So I'm very lucky. think this is going to be a nice gray color. Let's move my color wheel. All right, let's see how this works. Here we go. Third color for the day. Oops. This paper is hard to get down on the, it's curved. See how it turns out. Here we go. It's looking like an evening scene. I think that's good. It's flat. We have to remember there's a gradation of the shadow mask over top, and there's the key block over top. So as a base tone, I like that it's warmer than the ground plane, warmer than the, I like that it's kind of a cooler, or like more of a purple tone. And it has that white mixed in, so it's a little bit more matte. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Are you guys happy with that? Can we move forward? I think we're good with this. I think the value is good. If we get our value scale here, now we can get a better range. That's a level 6. It's not quite 5. I think it's about a 6. That's good, because then we can do the gradation in these two, this range, and then the key block. So we have room. We do the gradation from here to here, and then the key block. So I think that's good. That value scale is really important. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's looking nice. Pam gives it the thumbs up, so we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Try to get this paper flattened out here. Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice color. Very excited for this print. Yeah. We're at 122 minutes. That's 2 hours. The sky color is already almost dry. That's good. I can just keep on working. There's this painter that does live streams on Instagram. His name is Pete the Street, and he paints outside. He lives in London, but he paints mostly landscapes, but he does interiors. Last week he was painting this like interior of his house. He's a really amazing painter. I don't know his full name, but his handle is Pete the Street. And yesterday, or 2 days ago, he was doing a live stream. And he's got it set up right on the street in London. And it was a rainy scene, street scene. He's got an umbrella, large umbrella, clear umbrella, over his easel. He's got his camera set up, live streaming. And it's like pouring rain out. He's making this decent sized oil painting right in the street. And I'm like, right on the sidewalk. It's like, this guy is dedicated to his craft. That's 100% dedication. And you can see it in his paintings. He's just really amazing painter. He works from life. It's all about observation. He really tries to nail down the colors and the light of his subject. And he paints things the way he sees them. So if there's graffiti on a wall, he's painting it. If there's garbage piled on the street, he's painting it. If he's got a messy room in his house, with clothes everywhere and books everywhere, he's painting it. And it's all just a part of his composition. But he's a really interesting painter. So check him out. But his live streams are pretty long too. I don't know if they're on YouTube, I should check. But I think he's just doing it on Instagram. I don't think Instagram has a replay. I'll have to check it out. I think this paper moved. Marius, you know who he is? He's got videos on YouTube too. Nice. Yeah, that he's pretty cool. He's one of my heroes as of lately. I just found out about him through Instagram maybe like 6 months ago. I started getting back into painting, so I started looking around and following some landscape painters, and I'm listening to podcasts. The Undraped Artist is a great podcast that has some it's all painters, and man, they have some really good interviews. If you're not familiar with that one, Marius, the Undraped Artist, it's an amazing podcast, and he interviews some really amazing painters. I don't know if he's had Pete the Street on yet. I don't think so, but he would be a good one. Bye, Pam. Thanks for sticking around. I'm going to end this too. This is a long time for people to be around, but I'm just working today. But have a good night. Happy Halloween. See you tomorrow, maybe. So there's usually a white gap on the edge of this if the registration is white. Right. A tiny white gap. And this one, there won't be much of a gap, I bet, because the paper slid over a little. Oh no, there's still a gap. Alright, so it's not bad. Seems a tiny white gap. So I'm judging to see how the paper goes down. The registration on this one isn't that important, because there's a lot of room for error because it has a thick key line. Do you know Andrew Tischler? Yes, Andrew Tischler. He's pretty interesting as well. He's got a big YouTube following. His painting style is a little too tight for me. It's a little too detailed. But he's an amazing painter, and he knows his stuff. But yeah, I kind of like a little bit more loose painting, similar to that Pete the Street. Or Boges is a landscape. I forget his first name. Something Boges. He's a landscape artist. He's American. I really like his style. Very loose. A lot of gestural brush strokes that forms realism. It's like abstraction which creates realism. That's the kind of painting that I like. That's the kind of painting I try to lean towards. Kind of like a Sargent style, where up close you see millions of colors and tons of different brush strokes and thick and thin paint. But then from a distance it reads like a beautiful realism painting. That's usually what I'm attracted to. Mark Boges. Marius, check out that Undraped Artist podcast. It's they have it on YouTube, and they go through artists' work, and they go through their websites, and they're great. Or if anyone's interested in painting, it's a great podcast. All right, we'll do one more and then we're going to end this one. It's been going for over 2 hours. I'm getting a little tired. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more to go. I might do those off camera. And I don't know if I'll be continuing on today. If I do continue on, it will be a little grassy area that's on the top of this cliff area. And then of course we have the tree color. And that will cover the whole surface. That'll be the base layer for the whole print. So that's my goal, to get that done by today. So tomorrow I could do the shadow shapes in this, and the tree colors, gradation. I still have to do the gradation in the sky. Hopefully this is dry by the end of today. I could do this gradation tonight because I need that to dry before I do the trees over top. So that I think I'll be able to do, because it's already pretty dry. So I think I can do that. And this is a good Halloween print to be working on with a nice full moon. So it's a perfect print for Halloween. Another interesting podcast or YouTuber is James Gurney Marius. He does gouache and watercolors mostly, but he's got a really good YouTube channel. His name is James Gurney, Gurney. He was actually on the Undraped Artist as an interviewer, and he's a really interesting guy, really smart, and he pretty much just goes out and does plein air painting, and it's kind of like a how-to format. He's very descriptive in his process, and he's just like a really fun, interesting guy. And he does a lot of his watercolors and gouache paintings on site. Sometimes he does them just like from the inside of his car. And he just paints like street scenes of homes, and he actually lives here probably about an hour and a half north of me in upstate New York in the Hudson River Valley. And he'll just paint, like, he'll just go to a parking lot and paint a pile of snow. It's like in like a Walmart parking lot. Or he'll just pull up to a house and just paint a street scene with like a house and the recycling bins out front, and he really just documents it in his sketchbook. And they're mostly just little sketchbook paintings. But he shares his whole process, and he's a really fun one to watch too. You can learn a lot from watching his videos. He's kind of inspiring me to get out there and do some more outdoor painting. I actually bought a little paint setup from him. I'm going to show it to you. He makes these little easels. So I bought this from his website. He has like a website. And this is a little easel that you can screw into a camera tripod. You could screw this into a camera tripod. Oops. And you just set this up. And you have these little magnets in here, which I don't know why he didn't put it on this side, the magnets, but either way, you could put your little metal pallets on here, and this just folds up and down. You could clip, I just clip my my paper or my sketchbook to this, or small panels. And I bought this from his website. So he makes little things like this. See, I have a little, this is what I use to mix my colors. I have these little pans, and they're just magnetized right here. And I'll put my colors right in here. And I'll put this right on my easel. I don't know why he didn't put this, though, on the other side. But I could always do that myself, probably. I could just change it up. But this is a cool little setup. So this was made by James Gurney. And these are like really cool hinges. They call them friction hinges, so they stay in place. You know, it's got a good tension there. It's just an awesome little setup. I want to start using it more. Alright, so what are we doing here? Other than getting sidetracked, I was going to end this stream, and now we're still going. So you do watch him. Wow. Yeah, the way he starts a painting, he kind of just washes in really large shapes, really broad. And that's what's great about gouache, and you know, there's some opacity there. You could just cover it. But he'll like prime his paper. Interesting colors. Yeah, from the chaos, he slowly gets more and more refined. But what he's best known for is his illustrated books, the dinosaur books. He's actually really, if you look at his website, his oil paintings and his dinosaur paintings, they're amazing. So that little sketchbook plein air YouTube channel is just it's just a separate project for him. It's just a way for him to keep his painting, his observation, his painting skills. I'd love to reach out to him, try to meet up with him and paint someday, because he is only about an hour and a half away. He seems like an approachable guy. That would be amazing to go paint with him one day. I'm going to try to contact him. Yeah, he has books. He wrote some books too. You're talking about James Gurney. He has wrote some art books. I think that's what he's been doing recently, because his videos, he hasn't been very active on his YouTube channel. He's been, I think, busy publishing that, getting that book ready. But he has illustrated and wrote some books. It's called the Dinosaur